Hey there friends, and welcome back to Lori's Crafty Corner. Thank you so much for joining me today, and for joining me, let me just silence my phone to prevent any interruptions. So, there we go. Today's the last day of 2019. It's currently December 31st, and I decided to do a flip through of all the layouts that I made from September to December. Usually I would make these layout flip throughs on a monthly basis, but for some reason after August it just like whoop, flew out the window. So here are all the layouts that I made. I've made more layouts, but they were part of some kits that were commissioned by a local store, so I can't share those with you. But yeah, I have all of them, all the other ones. Some of them are for design teams, others are just for fun. And this stack is 40, it has 40 layouts. So I'll just try and keep this not too long, but as engaging as possible. I've divided it up into two. Gonna pull this stack away a bit so that we can get like the bigger picture here. Let me put these over here. Okay, so the way that I've organized these is that the first layout is actually the most recent layout that I made and or uploaded onto Facebook or onto a process video onto YouTube. So the last layout that we'll see will be actually like the first one that I made in September. I hope that makes sense. Anywho, so this layout was inspired by a sketch that was posted on in the Hip Kit Club group, Facebook group. And what I did is I mirrored, because these angles on the sketch, these angles were supposed to go like that. But I mirrored them because when I placed the picture, it just looked weird. So I just mirrored them. These, everything is from Paige Evans' Truly Grateful collection, except for this paper. That's from her Turn the Page, not Turn the Page, Pick Me Up collection. I've added some hand stitching on, like I used a baby bottle cap. Placed it there, drew a circle, and then I just eyeballed the spacing of the holes and just hand stitched it. This was made as a challenge for the Confessions of a Paper Addict craft mass craziness that was happening over at the Confessions of a Paper Addict Facebook group. I am part of her design team, and I really wanted to use purple because when I think of the challenge was to make a monochromatic layout, but I went even further. I pushed myself even further and decided to make it like a non-conventional color. So I used purple, which is, you don't normally see purple when we talk about a Christmas layout. And even though it's purple, it is a Christmas layout because this picture was taken December 25th. Wow, 2013. So yeah, it's a Christmas picture. I used one of her cut files that was in the December release. I'll link her Etsy shop down below and you can find it. She released like 60 something cut files. So versatile, so gorgeous, so awesome. So please check those out. So yeah, I wanted to be as monochromatic as I could. And this is one of those layouts that I just kept adding and adding and adding because I was like, oh, there's an open space here, but oh, now I need to have something else here. So yeah, it looks like a lot, and it looks crazy, but I love it. I colored these wood veneers with some shimmers some purple shimmers. I don't recall the name right now. I've added some purple enamel dots, some purple sequins. Modeling paste is white so you could get that pop of modeling paste. And I also added some black acrylic paint to the background just to like really make sure that your eyes went directly to the picture. This one is a very special layout because I made it for me. Now, all the layouts that I make are for me, like to document my stories and whatnot. But this one was for me in terms of it's a me layout. This is one of Virginia Walker's cut files called Festive Fox. Again, I'll link you down below to your Etsy shop. And I just added things that were appealing to me. Like, yeah, I hope I'm making sense. What I did is I paired Simple Stories Holly Jolly collection with their Say Cheese Christmas collection. I have added another cut file by Virginia. This is called Build Your Own Garden or Grow Your Own Garden. And it's just one of the cut files. In that specific cut file, you get like 4 or 5 different flowers with the insides and the outsides. I just used the outline because I just used it as like a layering piece. I've added some stamped flowers from I used Vicky Bouton stamps. The background was made entirely with shimmers. One was Caribbean Sunset, Cotton Candy, and Razzle Dazzle Berry. And I've added 2 strips, not 2 strips, they're roughly like 3x4 pieces of cardstock where I wrote my journaling, because this layout documents when I turned 30. It was coincidentally Black Friday, so my husband took me shopping, but we went like in the afternoon. We weren't going to deal with the madness that usually comes with Black Friday sales. So we were just shopping for some crazy hats for a future for a family get together that we were gonna have. And I just saw this hat, put it on, and he's like, "Whoa, stop, let me take a picture." And it's very weird for him. It's usually me who's like, "Hey, grab your phone, take a picture." Like, I'm the mom who's always with her phone taking dozens upon dozens of pictures of her kids. So yeah, anyways, so this was a me layout. I finished the layout with some splatters in gold and added some Nouveau drops also in gold. I love this one. I love it. This was inspired by a layout that I saw Nikki Rowland make, and where she just used angled papers. So I very much scrap lift that idea, like the angled papers, but I tweaked it in order to fit 3 pictures of my sons, and then I added some extra goodiness. Basically everything except this. This is from Simple Stories Holly Jolly collection, but the rest is from the Say Cheese Christmas collection, and some stuff that I found lying around in my stash. We're actually on my desk. Like, if I were to switch this camera over there, you'll see my pile of things that I still need to use for other layouts before I like decide what I'm gonna keep and what is going to be tossed away. So yeah, I love this layout. These are the negatives of a cut file that I used for another layout. Oops, wait, there's actually a layout here that I can't show you. Not yet. It's just that sometimes I get creative and I make layouts, and I love them so much that I either send them off to be published in magazines or I use them for design team calls. So yeah, I can't show you those just yet. Actually, that's not the first one. I have like I have like 3 more that I can't show you, but all in due time. So these negatives were actually these. The inside of these trees are these. And I just pop them in, use them as a piece of ephemera, and there we go. Basically, all of the mixed media that you see here is from Shimmers. I'm part of their design team, so I love using Shimmers. Even if I weren't part of their design team, you'd still be seeing them in my layouts. But yeah. But this time around, I did use Shimmers, but the houses, the outline of the houses were painted with the Vicky Bouton watercolor markers. But since they're very vibrant, I just whitewashed them with some Misty Morning, which is a gorgeous like metallic-y pearl color. And now, yeah, this layout. I wanted to create a scene layout to document us getting the keys to our house. And I was like, I need something special for this. And the Holly Jolly collection has a bunch of houses, so I paired them off with a cut file by Virginia Walker. It's called Build Your Village or Build Your Own Village or something like that. It's also on in her Etsy shop. So I paired it with that, added some thickers from Pink Paisley, and basically used 3 different pieces of paper. These 2 are cardstock, and this is the patterned paper. I cut them wavy so that to give like the idea of a neighborhood or something. So yeah, all of these layouts have their own process videos in on my YouTube channel. So that's why in a way I'm calling out the titles, because you can search the titles in my channel and find the process video. This one, love it. I really wanted to document this picture, but here's the conundrum. I wanted to use the colors from the picture, and the only collection at the moment that I had that had those colors were the Christmas collection by Simple Stories, the Holly Jolly one. But I was like, but it looks Christmassy. But if you really look into the collection, you'll be able to see that you can pair them up and make sort of like a different layout. It still has like that wintry, Christmassy vibe. But, you know, for me it's okay because this picture was taken Thanksgiving Day. And, you know, Thanksgiving for me is the start of the Christmas season, so we're okay with that. So anyways, this is very much my style. Lots of splatterings of shimmers, lots of fussy cut florals mixed with die cut flowers, mixed with chipboard flowers, lots of layered paper. I've distressed them all to add some extra texture. This base paper is from Pink Paisley, Together for Christmas collection. And I've added some dots from shimmers just to add something different to the layout. This was for Confessions of a Paper Addict design team layout. Oh, wait, I forgot to mention. This one was also a design team layout. So yeah, I'll try to mention the ones that are part of the design team. Let me turn on the lighting here. There, much better. Thing is that it's a sort of a weird day when I'm doing this recording, because it's like a mixture between cloud. It just won't make up its mind. It's either cloudy and then you blink and it's sunny. It's very weird. Anyways, that's why the lighting has been a bit weird. Anyways, back. This is the design team layout for Confessions of a Paper Addict. This is the String the Lights cut file. I've like sandwiched them into the patterned paper block that I have here. Added a lot of shimmers. These circles were made with the same baby bottle cap. And I just added tiny embellishments here and there to finish off the layout. This is for the Shimmers design team. I used 4 different colors. This like gold, not gold, this gorgeous grayish blue color with some mauve-ish color. This bold yellow, which is the same one that you see here, and some brown. All of the embellishments are random embellishments found in my stash. And I was able to document these 2 pictures taken on the same day of my 2 sons. This is another design team layout for shimmers. I went crazy with mixed media. I used a Vicky Bouton Foundations paper. Behind each of the letters is a different color. I've used over, I think it was like 16 colors of shimmers. The backing of each item here, like the holly, this bow, and the candy cane, were all painted with shimmers and then backed there. And I just kept my embellishments to a minimal. Cut file was designed by Virginia Walker, and I backed it with some acetate that has like gold polka dots. Design team layout for Confessions of a Paper Addict. This is one of her December cut files. I just placed 2 pieces of patterned paper here, added this cut file, and just like smudged it with some extra shimmers just to get different variants of green. I layered some patterned paper beneath my picture, and then I just used non-Christmassy embellishments because this is more of a winter layout, not really a Christmas layout, but I did use Christmas colors just, you know, to play it up a bit. This was designed during a live in Confessions of a Paper Addict, the Facebook group, and what I did, well, it was doing a live for a design team takeover. So when the new design team came in, yours truly came in, well, they had like this very, very fun weekend where basically from Friday up until Sunday, we were either going live or adding projects or challenges or games, so we were having lots of fun there. So this is the layout that I created then. And this is one of her cut files. It's, gosh, I don't recall the name, but it's in her Etsy shop. When I upload this, I'll make sure to find all the names of the cut files that I used. And then I used blue, pink, and orange shimmers. And what I did is that I kept the embellishments sort of like tone on tone on top of it. And I documented a picture of my sons and I. This layout was made for my stint in the Confessions, no, not the Confessions of a Paper Addict. This was for Spiegel Mom Scraps, the Spiegel Mom Scraps blog. I was sort of their guest designer for November, so I used the Starry, I hope you can see them there, the Starry Night, not Starry Night, Starry Dreams. It's like a baby themed sequins. They are pink and blue and see-through. Some are circular, some are stars. And the cut file was designed by Virginia Walker. And I documented a picture of my eldest son. I'll link you down below if you want to hear or read all the how I made everything. I also made, this one is another another design team layout for for shimmers. I wanted to use Christmas colors to document a non-Christmas layout. So what I did is that I try to mix in whites and off-whites with reds, pinks, and greens and gold. And yeah, these circles, baby bottle cap. Oops. There. Another design team layout for shimmers. I wanted to go monochromatic this time around. Grabbed a light blue cardstock, added my mixed media to the left hand side, and then just brought in lots of different embellishments in the same tones because I wanted to keep within the blue tones. So it was like blue, turquoisey blue, light, dark blue, and so on and so forth. Design team layout for Confessions of a Paper Addict. I used the Out of This World cut file and used the colors of the picture to inspire the color scheme of the cut file. And yeah, spent some time backing it. And then I wanted to leave this area as clean as possible. Like, I knew that some mixed media was going to land on it eventually. But what I did is that I placed a bowl. Like, before I placed the cut file, I placed a bowl here, splattered my white acrylic paint with some hi-ho silver and some marigold shimmers, and pulled it off, let it dry, added my strip of paper, then I added the cut file on top of it, and then I just kept my embellishments at a minimum. Design team layout for Confessions of a Paper Addict. Used the splash cut file, covered it with vellum. These pieces were actually colored, and then I went, since I had this this layout was already very heavy at the bottom, I went crazy up here and added all my pull related embellishments on top. This layout was made for the Spiegel Mom Scraps blog. And I used shimmers to color the background, and I used Chamel's Field Trip collection. And I've also used lots of sequins from the Spiegel Mom Scraps. I'll link you down below. Let me bring in the second pile. Design team layout for the Confessions of a Paper Addict. This cut file is very, very versatile because the actual cut file is this, like these borders, these conjoined stars. Then you get the insides, the negatives, but you can also use like the outside, like this paper. So you can use it 3 ways. It's awesome. I kept my embellishments to a minimum because I had a lot of things going on. I've added vellum to some of the stars and placed my title here, my journaling over here, and documented 3 pictures. These next 5 layouts were for Jelly Bean Soup. I was their guest designer for October. And I'll link you to the blog post so you can get an idea of how I made each of these. Used a craft cardstock, added some mixed media, and then cut strips of the patterned paper to create like this vertical look. Kept my embellishments more or less clustered over here. I love this. The collection that they sent me to design with was the miso soup. Miso soup? Yeah, the miso soup collection. I love this. I love using dark colors for my backgrounds because it just makes everything else like pop. So this one's inspired by a sketch that I saw. I just cut 3 strips of patterned paper, laid them vertically, added 3 clusters. These circles were made with not the baby bottle cap, but another cap that I had lying around. And I added some embossing ink and heat embossed these. Added some splatters of shimmers in pink and white acrylic paint. Another layout that was inspired by a sketch that I saw, because really sometimes when I think, like when I'm in let's call them plateau or a funk, where it's like I stare at a collection and I'm not inspired to use it, I just take a break. I don't scrap for 3 or 4 days, and that time, the time that I would usually spend crafting, I just go and watch some process videos, look things up on Pinterest, look like dive into the various Facebook groups that I'm part of, and just like let all that inspiration sink in. So I can't really say, oh, this is that sketch that I saw, but I'm pretty sure that it's part of a sketch that I saw. And layered some pieces of patterned paper. Everything that I used is from that miso collection. I documented these 2 pictures because I thought they went very well with the colors here. And I sort of scrap lifted my own design. I made a sort of like the same design back in like March. What I did was like I cut different pieces of patterned paper in different sizes to make like cards. Added this vellum tag here from the same collection. Added these stickers. And then in terms of mixed media, I created like a nest of black acrylic paint, and then added splatters of shimmers in pink. Stamped a couple of things here just to create like a grungy look, and that's my layout. Again, I love this collection. I love it. Anyways, 3 pieces of patterned paper, fuzzy cut these houses from one of the patterned papers, layered an ephemera with the same houses on top, added some fuzzy cut florals with some of the die cuts that they sent me, and placed it all on a black cardstock with white acrylic, which I splattered with white acrylic paint and marigold shimmers. Love this. This was for design team layout for shimmers. In October they had the color challenge, where we were supposed to select one color that we hardly ever used, and we were supposed to create our design team layouts using that color. So this back paper, the background is from Simple Stories Fall Farmhouse collection. These flowers were fussy cut out from a patterned paper by Vicky Booten. I punched out these leaflets in craft cardstock, and then where I used the color, my color was coffee. It's a gorgeous color. I've splattered it here, and I also colored these little twigs that I punched out. For extra messiness, I added some white acrylic paint just to make it like everything pop again. This layout was featured in the Scrapbook and Cards Today fall magazine, and it was following a sketch that they had posted on their website from Page Maps. Yikes. For me to call out everything that I used here, it would be it'd be too much, because I used a lot of different collections to bring about this whole idea. But I added my 3 clusters. They each have these die cuts, these circular die cuts. I tried to bring the colors from the picture onto the layout to make sure that everything balanced together. This layout was made for the Confessions of a Paper Addict. not her design team. And this actually, no, this one's supposed to be there. This one's supposed to be over here. Or somewhere. Yeah, don't worry. Once I add this into the, because I need to trim off some of the branding strips. Once they're in albums, I'll just like make sure everything's stuck down. This was made for the design team call for Confessions of a Paper Addict. I used the same cut file, only I just cut it out twice. There is mixed media in the backing. Added lots of Spiegel Mom sequins, and layered beneath here some flowers from that I had left over in my stash, and some are from the Paige Evans Whimsical collection. Design team layout for shimmers. I went very masculine here, where I used the same coffee color to create like a grid look. Multiple patterned paper because my scheme was brown, blue, and green, just to make it a very masculine layout. The paper that I used is a Vicki Boutin Foundations paper that I just cut up very like crookedly, distressed it again to add to that rugged masculine effect. This layout was made for Spiegel Mom Scraps. I think it's monthly. Like they have this post where you can post things that you make with their sequins, and if they choose you, you can I think you get some like free sequins, and you can be featured in their blog and in their newsletter. So it's awesome. So I made this layout for that challenge, and I was chosen for yeah, as like a guest designer for the month of November. And this is a very like normal layout for me, but here's the thing, the wow factor. These are sequins that I stuck down on some cardstock, and I just ripped the paper, made 2 openings so that they could peek on through, and I love that. I also added some extra ones here. I really love boy layouts. This layout was made using these 2 pictures are from the Instapix. Yeah, Instapix camera. My aunt was visiting. She took these 2 pictures of my son. She gave me the pictures. I was like, okay, I'm gonna use them up. So used Chamel's Field Trip collection because it pairs gorgeously with boy-themed layouts. These gold splatters and border is from, I used Minor 49er from Shimmers. Another boy-themed layout using Chamel's Field Trip collection. I used most of the galaxy or astronaut or spacey embellishments to make this layout. The background is a patterned paper. I just added a couple of extra splatters in this green, which is key lime pie. Yeah, to document these 2 pictures of my son meeting Buzz Lightyear over at Walt Disney World. This layout was made for the Shimmers design team. This pattern paper is from Paige Evans. This is actually from Vicki Boutin, but everything else is from Paige Evans. What I did is that I had seen her make one of these distressed layouts. So I used that idea, but I didn't want a whole lot of white peeking through. So I just added colors to the whole background. Let me see if you can see that. Just to sort of extend the colors. And I love how this turned out. Another Shimmers design team layouts. This time I tried to leave like the mixed media sort of on a controlled level. So my shimmers were used in these flowers and leaflets, and I also used Dazzlers, which is a texture paste here to create some extra messiness. This layout was made using the Vicky Boonton watercolors, those little pods, or yeah, they're like little bottles. And it was inspired by Natalie DeSouza. She is on Vicky's design team. She made a similar layout, but it was like hexagons, and I just left it with squares, cut out different squares, made lines, and then tried to control the splatters into that area. You know, now that I look at this, I think I might scrap lift my own layout. We'll see. It says explore a new world. And then I kept my embellishments to some of the pattern paper that I placed there. This was using these two layouts were made using the leftovers from the Paige Evans Horizon collection. I really wanted to use some border strips and some flowers, so that's what I did. I added a piece of patterned paper, cut out 3 different borders. Well, yeah, three borders from 3 different pattern paper, and I used the same border punch, and then I just added a couple of embellishments up here and then went crazy up here. When I look at it, it reminds me of a ruffly skirt for some reason. I don't know. I'm weird. This other layout was also used with using the Horizon collection. I added some extra things from her Pick Me Up collection, but it was mostly that. You'll see, because the other layouts are from her same Horizon collection. I used that. I was using up the last of her stash because I had already placed an order for Truly Grateful, and I was like, I need to make some space, so I started to use up the collection a lot. This was for the Shimmers Design Team. Cut file was from the Shimmers Design Team. I used mainly Horizon. These are from Doodlebug. Added lots of mixed media to the background. And yeah, documented these 2 pictures of my sons eating ice cream at Walt Disney World. And yes, they were eating Mickey bars. This layout was made. The pattern paper is from Horizon, but the rest of the embellishments were, some of them were from Hip Kit Club, others were from Vicky Boonton, so I used a lot. And to create movement, because I wanted to use like a vertical, not vertical, horizontal look to my layout, but it just wasn't mixing through, so I just placed them in an angle and added movement by adding these strips of ephemera. Added some sequins by Beagle Mom scraps. Another layout using Horizon, documented a picture of me in Hollywood Studios. And since, yeah, I don't know, I just liked the color scheme. It had a lot of pink, so it's rare when I can use a lot of pink when I make my layouts, because it's just me at the moment. It's my husband, my 2 sons, and I. Well, there's Amy, which is our dog, but yeah. Anywho, it's really rare for me to make a pink layout. So, anyways, so I went crazy here with lots of pink, and since this picture was taken in front of the Incredibles section in Hollywood Studios, it looks like a city. I used this city lookish paper, you know what I mean, this paper, and yeah, added a bit of orange because there's orange in the picture, and used blue because there's blue in the picture. This layout was designed for the Shimmers design team. Added lots of shimmers in my background, but also these butterflies were colored with shimmers. These flowers and these branches were also colored with with the shimmers. And everything else is from Horizon. I really love the colors in that collection. Another Horizon layout, but it's basically a paper. The pattern paper is from her, but I used a lot of other embellishments from my stash. This was made for the Scrappy Sisters Scrap September activity YouTube hop. Yeah. So the Scrappy Sisters, these very crafty ladies over in New Zealand, they had this like get together of a lot of different ladies to document. We basically had to make a layout for one day of like in September. So they divided September up into themes, and one of those themes was using a long title in your layout. And I usually use one word in my layouts, so make your own magic was my way of like, okay, this is a really long title. And also to add more text to the layout, I've added some puffy words here and there just to marry everything. And I used this paper sort of to divide everything into like quadrants. In the greenish section is where I have my title, my journaling, and some embellishments. In my orange section, I have a picture of my sons with Goofy, and everything is like orangey, yellow, sort of tone on tone. In the pink section, they are with Minnie Mouse. Lots of pinks going on here. And in the blue section, they are with Mickey. And lots of blue going on. I love this layout. I love it. And this is the last layout, or actually the first layout that I made in September. And it was for the Scrappy Sisters Scrap September. And my theme was family. Yeah. And you know me. I'm all about family. I'm all about flowers. I'm all about mixed media, color. So yeah, I used a Vicky Boon foundation paper, added my mixed media. These patterned paper are from Bo Bunny. They're Loving Freedom, Freedom Love collection. Mixed in some figures from one of the Paige Evans collection. Vicky Booten. These flowers were stamped with a Vicky Booten stamp and colored in using shimmers. And yeah, that's basically it. So, I hope I've inspired you with all of these 40 layouts. Stay tuned for those that I couldn't show you. They'll be popping up onto my YouTube channel because they already have their process videos filmed and everything. But once I get the go-ahead, I'll post them. So yeah, guys, I hope you're inspired to make, like, scrap lift these layouts. Get inspired. Document your story. And yeah, it would really help me out if you like my video. Leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel, and make sure the little bell icon is on so that you'll get notified when I upload a new video. That being said, I'm trying, because I know that sometimes YouTube notifications can get crazy. I'm trying to like upload a video every 2 days, depending on the design team requirements and whatnot. So yeah, I promise not to be too bothersome. But anyways, all kidding aside, I I'm so glad that you've been with me since whenever you decided to join me. And yeah, guys, I'll see you back soon with another process video, flip through, or or tutorial in 2020. Bye bye.